When we talk about what state to set up your corporation or your LLC in, let's kind of back up a little bit and make sure that we understand that every single state allows these entities to exist. In other words, the corporate structure is recognized, for example, in every single state in the United States because every single state has statutes that allow a corporation to exist. The same thing applies to limited liability companies. Same thing applies to limited partnerships. Every state has statutes that allow those structures to exist. But because every single state has their own set of rules, if you will, does it make sense that some states might be a little different than others? And in the process of doing that, we've learned over a period of time that some state statutes are superior to other state statutes depending upon what it is that we're trying to accomplish. When it comes to corporations, for example, it's long been known that the state of Nevada and the state of Delaware seem to have a lot better flexibility in their rules as to how, when you set up your corporation, is to give you the kinds of flexibility that you need to run your business a little easier in those two states. Delaware ends up favoring more publicly traded types of companies or corporations, but the state of Nevada ends up favoring and has documentation and statutes that are really, really attractive to people who are setting up small, closely held private corporations like the kind that we teach you about. So that's why we end up going to another state like California, like Nevada, to be able to set that up. However, if you live in another state other than Nevada, and you have a business that might actually need to be a corporation or registered as a corporation in your state, it's not uncommon to set the actual corporation up in Nevada and then re-register that in your own state. I live in Florida, for example. What if I had a dry cleaning business? I might want to actually set up the corporation in Nevada, but I would also have to register that corporation in Florida so that I can actually have a brick and mortar dry cleaning business to come in. But because of the fact that I established it first in Nevada, I have some extra benefits that allow me greater flexibility than I might in the state where I live. So that's one reason for doing so. Now, when it comes to LLCs, remember we do the same thing, but every state allows an LLC to exist. When we talk about LLCs, we have to ask a very important question. Are we using the LLC as a substitute for the corporation, or are we using an LLC as the substitute for a limited partnership for lawsuit protection purposes? Depending upon which one of those two strategies we're looking at makes a lot of difference as to which state LLC we're going to be setting it up in. You may actually end up setting up an LLC in the state where you live, but if, for example, that state statutes does not protect you as well against lawsuits as, say, another state, then you might actually set up an LLC in your state, and then on top of that, you'll set up another LLC in another state that has phenomenal lawsuit protection, and we'll let that LLC in that great state for lawsuit protection, we'll let it actually own the LLC in your state. That means that somebody, if they want to sue you, they can't take the assets of your LLC unless they go through the higher protective LLC of the other state, and they may have to actually try that case in the other state as well. So again, whether we use a corporation or an LLC has a lot to do with, well, first of all, are we using the LLC or the corporation as a form of doing business with your actual business? Or are we using the LLC as a substitute for your corporation, or are we using it as a substitute for lawsuit protection? That's a lot to digest and understand, but if you listen to it a time or two, maybe it'll become a little more clear.